This is Grapplers Talk.
What is up, fans of Grapplers Talk? This is Dave coming at you with another episode each and every week, here to bring you the best grappling and jiu-jitsu content on the internet. I'm here with a very special guest. I'm excited, man. I've been talking to this gentleman for quite some time, just trying to line up our schedule so we could have him on the show, but none other than the man, Ian Butler, man. What is up, brother? How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing awesome, man. Thank you again for taking the time out of your busy schedule to be a part of this, man, and it means the world to me.
Thanks.
So I just want to get into your story, man. Get introduced on how you got started in grappling, wrestling, jiu-jitsu, MMA, whatever it is. What was the first thing you got into, brother?
The first thing I got into was wrestling for sure. So started when I was 5. I didn't grow up from a very wealthy family, so it's expensive to buy baseball pads and hockey pads or football pads, So buying a pair of shoes and just having shorts and a t-shirt was just good enough. So that was my first one, man. That was my first introduction. And then, man, that kind of carried me out all the way through wrestling in college to then doing jiu-jitsu. And then I did like little things as a child, like striking or boxing and stuff like that. My mom threw me in. But wrestling was just the foundation that was the core thing I did throughout my life the whole time. And then yeah, man. Started getting into the jiu-jitsu game, started getting an MMA game, and then started fighting, and then turned pro, got signed to Bellator, and then started making my mark from there, bro. So yeah.
That's exciting, man. So how did you get the transition from the wrestling room to the jiu-jitsu room?
Okay, so I was living in St. Louis, Missouri at the time, and we had a lot of guys going over to mixed martial arts, especially the Mizzou Tigers. Like, we had Ben Askren, we had Tyron Woodley, we had Michael Chandler. I knew Tyron and Michael and all them from the get-go, So, it was easy. Like, dude, you need to go try out jiu-jitsu. You need to go to MMA gym. And then, obviously, part of MMA, jiu-jitsu is a part of it, So, I think that was, the most easier, flowy route for me because, to me, it's just grappling. Right? The words are different, right? Judo, I think, is grappling too. It's grappling. Sambo is grappling, So the language was a little different, but at least I can understand some of it, right? Like the dog fight position is just a wizard.
Yeah.
It was just simple, So obviously that came about, and then I started jiu-jitsu was not that big back then. Obviously, you had the 80 cc's but it wasn't getting that much coverage though. So
what year is this?
Huh?
What?
I graduated in 2008.
Okay.
So we're talking 2012.
Still
11.
early?
So
Yeah.
that's when Strike Force started kicking off.
Yeah.
So that's Tyron Woodley was on Strike Force and stuff like that. Robbie Lawler was on Strike Force.
Yeah.
Nick Diaz. I believe Rampage just beat Chuck Liddell for the world title coming over from Pride.
Yeah.
It was those days, bro.
Yeah. Those were the good days, man. It's those were some of my favorite years of mixed martial arts, dude. They were some good times.
I thought it was the golden era, bro. BJ Penn was I'm living in Missouri, so BJ Penn was my fucking guy. So it was, yeah, dude. And then I trained at Pat Militich System, so they had a gym called Hit Squad in Illinois too. So that's where Matt Hughes was, Robbie Lawler was, and stuff like that. So I trained with all those guys, Spencer Fisher, all those guys.
Yeah, OGs.
Yeah, bro, OGs. And then I found a small school in Absolute Martial Arts in St. Louis and had Keith Brock. He was a black belt world champion in kickboxing. So he threw me on the scene right away, bro. So I was just racking up all those Naga events, traveling and shit like that.
Yeah.
And then start doing IBJJF tournaments, traveling, and start going to Pan, start doing all those, and start going to Worlds. And, bro, placing in all of them, start making a name for myself. And then that's when I started my MMA career.
Yeah.
And then just because jiu-jitsu was there wasn't shit back then,
no,
bro.
there wasn't an outlet for it. Yeah.
Nah, dude.
Yeah.
Nah. And then you had to pay for everything to get in. It was just it wasn't shit. So the easier route coming from, an unprivileged neighborhood is to turn pro, is either you play ball. For me, it was like you wrestle, or like me trying to like enter the draft early was just like, man, I'm leaving this college early from wrestling. I'm going to the draft. I'm turning pro, bro.
Yeah.
Like that's it. So I started diving into MMA, started beating like all my amateur fights were just hard as shit because I was in the Midwest. So they all knew how to wrestle.
Yeah.
Right. So like my first fight, the guy was 4-0 purple belt, beat him. That
Wow.
was my first fight. Then went over to Belleville, Illinois, and I was just fighting back to back and just started ranking up wins.
Yeah.
And then I fought in this promotion called Fight Hard FC, and they were going at the Family Arena. Right. It's another arena in St. Louis. It's like 15,000,
Okay.
something like that. I was pretty much selling those arenas out in my amateur days.
Wow.
Bellator got a hold of it. So like, dude, this kid can move. This kid has a fucking fan base. He can freaking move, And
Yeah.
then, yeah, bro. And then Bellator fucking signed me like right away, bro, and
Yeah.
made it to the big leagues.
Yeah. So looking back, like at your early childhood and stuff, like, did you ever foresee yourself being on a big stage like Bellator, or being in the lights,
Oh,
or on TV,
yeah,
or
bro.
anything like that?
Yeah. Like I hate like it's I always knew I was gonna be a professional athlete. I just didn't know what sport. I was just one of those guys that like, bro, I can play the hot corner and third base. I can be a running back in football. Like
Yeah.
I'm just good at what I do. Like, like it's just is wrestling captured me because there wasn't like a team aspect. It was all on me,
Right. Right.
Like, and I loved it, but I just knew right away. Like my first pro fight I went and saw was Strike Force. I think Kevin Randall fought Hardra Gracie that
Oh
night.
wow.
It was
Yeah.
like an old school roster, like Fabricio Verdum fought. I believe Dan Henderson knocked out Fajow to win the Strike Force title.
Oh
Like it
yeah.
was,
Those were the
yeah,
early
bro.
days, man.
Bro, yeah, and I think that's when Alistair Overeem beat Brett Rogers to
Yeah.
win the Strike Force World title.
Yeah.
He had the Dream title. And I remember he like fist bumped, and I just knew that like, oh, bro, I'm gonna be on a big stage, And then I just knew right away, and it's just crazy because I talked to my boy like Ray, one of my students. He coached here at my gym. And he was just like, bro, like everything I did in my career has been big. It's like, oh, Ian's fighting in Glory. Oh, Ian's fighting on Who's Number One. Ian's fighting in Polaris. It's just like it's crazy that that's just normalcy
Yeah.
to me. But I earned my stripes, bro.
Yeah.
That amateur route, that amateur road I went through was fucking hard, bro. And I don't think people understand like my grappling career when I started, when I was going like on the IBJJF scene, going to Worlds, making it to the finals of Worlds, like that shit was hard too. There was just no fucking coverage behind it because it
Yeah.
was like the Stone Age.
Yeah. And nowadays we're seeing a little bit more coverage, but like back then, really, there was no outlets for it. There wasn't,
Dude.
YouTube channels dedicated to it or anything like
bro.
that.
No, bro.
But
Like,
that
it's
circuit,
crazy, bro. Like,
yeah, that circuit you're coming up in though in the MMA, man, that's a tough area, dude. Everyone's wrestling, everyone's tough. You got you got a lot of talent in those areas. We're here in California. We have a lot of talent here too. So depending on where you're at,
where you at in Cali?
Stockton, baby.
Oh,
So,
okay.
yeah.
I'm in SoCal. I'm in Anaheim right now.
That's what's up.
SoCal. So like, nah, dude, that area, I believe so. I had Lindenwood. At Lindenwood, we had two guys. We had Josh Sampo. He fought in the UFC. Alex Osklich, Jonathan Brookings.
Okay.
Won the Ultimate Fighter. Made it to the UFC. Michael Johnson.
Yeah.
Right, that's in the UFC. He went to Merrimack. He's a St. Louis boy.
Yeah.
Michael Chandler, Tyron Woodley. Obviously me. Zach Freeman made a big one. And then obviously now it's like me and Joaquin Buckley made our pro debut together at the same little Shamrock Promotions. You know what I'm saying? So like it's coming, like for sure. You know.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. So, did you finish all of your amateur fights, or what was your record by the time you went pro?
I believe I was like 7-2.
Okay.
Like a hard 7-2, bro.
Yeah.
Like I mean, I fought no cans.
Yeah.
Like like I said, my first fight, the guy was fucking 4-0, bro. Like, and I was in his hometown. I fought in, it was like a small town in like Eureka, Missouri,
Yeah.
at a fucking Motel 6.
No one's rooting
Like,
for you.
in the conference room. Nah, bro.
Yeah.
It's this guy's hometown.
Yeah.
Like, it was bad. Like, and then I think my second fight, the guy was 2-2. And then they're like, all right, we're going to give this guy more experience. And then I think the guy was like 5-4.
Yeah.
And then and then it started going up like 4-0, 6-0, 7-0. Like,
Yeah.
So like it was a hard roll, bro, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. Being a fighter, man, it's, there's no easy way to be a fighter. You got to just put in the work. You got to take the fights. You got to build the record, right? There's no real easy way to do it. But if you do continue, right, and avoid injuries and avoid, things in your personal life going wrong, then you can get to that big show. You could get to the UFCs, the Bellators, the Strike Forces out there. But Strike Force.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Literally, it's what you said. I didn't really know how, and then I started learning like the game of some shit of like, well, if you sell tickets, right? I didn't know what I was doing. I just thought I was just being genuine, going to like these mom and pop restaurants I eat at and like, yo, can I put a poster up?
Yeah.
Like, hiding and then selling out the arena. I was just being myself. I didn't know like, yo, when you get older, like, you better have a brand. You better learn how to push. You better learn how to sell. You better learn how to talk. Because at the end of the day, selling pay-per-views is what's going to pay your fucking bills, right?
Right.
And stuff like that, Didn't know. I was just going with the flow. Like, I learned along the way, too. But, yeah, bro, being a fighter is fucking hard. But I also learned, like, bro, as long as you just work hard. I've been with the Tony Fergusons and the fucking RDAs and the Bispings and stuff like that. As long as you just work hard, you'll fucking make it.
Yeah. Yeah. There's like I said, there's no real easy way to do it. You just got to work hard, And
take on and then stay active. You have to stay active. Once you're older, and once you're a person in like my position, like a 35, like it doesn't matter what I do, your credibility isn't going anywhere and your accomplishments are not going anywhere.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like we live like the Call Out Me, the Carlos Condits, and all of us that's on the scenes.
Yeah.
Or if Donna Cerrone comes back. Bro, we're showing up to get fucking paid. It doesn't matter what results we're going to get. As long as we show up and scrap,
right.
It doesn't matter what results, we still win.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But we can do that. We're established. If you're fucking young, winning is the answer, and you better have some good fucking skills.
Yeah.
And you got to go get it,
Yeah.
So, like, yeah, bro.
How long in your career was it before you actually got, like, a manager or somebody behind you helping you get these bigger fights and stuff?
So I had a manager right away. I signed. I'm not gonna say the name though. I signed, and then something fucked up happened. They stole money from me.
It's usually the case, right? The famous story, right?
Yep. It's true.
Yeah,
it's true. But it got me into Bellator right away, though.
Yeah.
Right. It's what in life is not what you know, it's who you know, right?
Right.
So
the connections.
I knew it was the connections. I knew I was good enough. I knew that they had a lot of guys. I think that management at the time had 3 Bellator champions.
Wow.
Right, and Tito. So it was right place, right time. And Bellator already knew who I was because I was already showing to the shows and like literally going to Bjorn Rebney, like, I'm your fucking guy.
Yeah.
Like, and he's just like, all right. And I think he heard my name so many times. He's just like, I'm going to give this kid a shot.
Yeah.
And then in transition, obviously Scott Coker took over, but then Scott Coker fell in love with me,
Yeah.
So, like, especially because I told him my first show was ever Strike Force, and that fucker ended up becoming my boss, you know? Like, but me and him are tight, bro. He'll text each other all the time. Like, he's my guy.
Yeah.
And then I had that manager for a couple of years, fired him, and then I switched over to another one, didn't like it. Switched over to another one, didn't like it, and then I honestly, for the last 7 years of my upgrowth, I have done everything myself.
Yeah. And you mentioned it earlier. You got to be a salesman, right? You got to sell yourself, and even to get into the position you are, sometimes you almost gotta you gotta make those major call outs. You gotta tell them, hey, I'm the guy. I'm the champ here. You gotta kind of own it already before you even get there.
Yep.
It's very important.
The fake it till you make it kind of like per se, like
Yeah.
it will come though.
Yeah.
It will come, now I can call my own shots, like dude, I know I have a huge fan base. I know I draw, like I have literally been on every biggest Bellator pay-per-view, Glory pay-per-view, Polaris pay-per-view,
Yeah.
who's number one. I always get the YouTube spot so their number and views will go up.
Right.
So I know my value,
Yeah.
but that's with that comes age and wisdom
Yeah.
as well, right?
Yeah.
But if you can learn that now and you're learning, like, if you actually can study data, like, fuck, bro, I literally have been on the biggest one. It's actually me. That's
Yeah.
actually like, like it's actually me. Like I can promote, I can sell, I have my own team. Like, they're like, fuck, like if fighters are willing to learn that, they can, bro, the sky is the limit when it comes
Right.
to like entrepreneurship, what they want to get into, because you can't fight forever,
Yeah.
So it's like figure that out now.
Yeah, and it's even nowadays it's starting to transition into the grappling scene. You see guys like Nicky Rod, and he has his beef jerky thing, and he's got other
Yep.
things in the works. And
Yeah.
Conor McGregor, regardless of the situation now, he had his whiskey, and there's a lot of things like that. But you have to be able to sell. And if you're not able to, those big time sponsorship deals or whatever isn't going to be too great for you.
No. Why invest money? Like it's an equal partnership on my end. You reinvest in you, you fucking sell. Like you have the name to sell. It's an equal partnership. But some fighters just trust me, bro. I had a teammate that I thought could have been easily top 10 in the UFC. His name was Fazlo. He turned pro. I think he was like 4-1, but he ended up retiring. And he was a guy that just like, I just want to fight, right? I don't want to talk, and stuff like that. But people forget that like it's life. You always have to sell yourself and stuff like that. And sometimes like you have to say a little bit more. Those are the people that want it. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So like it's if you speak loud enough, you'll be heard.
Yeah.
So it's
So here
hopefully people will learn.
Yeah, here in Stockton, I mean, we're obviously a hometown of the Diaz brothers, and
Yeah.
Nate wouldn't be in the position he's in if he didn't call out Conor McGregor after I believe it was that Michael Johnson fight. Conor, you've taken everything I worked for, motherfucker. The famous line, the famous thing. Now he's taking his whole team, flying them private. He's in the positions he's in because that call out. That was a huge call out.
Not to mention a couple of things. He have lost a good amount of fights.
Yeah.
Still winning. Still name still brings him money. That's the point,
Right.
right? Like it doesn't matter what his old is. Just him showing up is it's a present. It's a present for everybody, right?
Right.
And then also too, a lot of people don't know the second fight. It was contract negotiations.
Yeah.
He was literally was like, fuck that. I want to get paid more the last time, or I'm not doing shit. And the UFC was just like, okay then.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
And
they
it's
got to
not this shit,
oblige.
like nobody, I think everybody forgets that. Like to me, I was like, dude, what the fuck? He literally signed a new deal. Was like, all right, I'm gonna sign a new deal. Got paid.
Yeah.
And then came back and he goes, hey, you know what, you guys, that last deal I signed? Not good enough.
Yeah. I need more.
But you signed it. Not good enough.
Yeah.
I want more. And called his own shot, you know? So that's the power it can bring.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, and I hope just young people will just figure it out.
Yeah. And at one point, years ago when the rankings first came out in the UFC, if you remember, Diaz was rated very low on the rankings, and everyone's like, why? Dana White's excuse at the time was, oh, he doesn't push the needle. Well, that changed somewhere. I don't know if that motivated him even more, but he had some killer fights. I thought he was pushing the needle before, but he was definitely pushing it after that.
Yeah.
And you gotta be that guy. You gotta be interesting. When that chance comes, that microphone's in your face with, Joe Rogan or somebody on the other side. You gotta have a name ready. You gotta have something ready to be rememberable.
Shoot your shot, bro. You have to. And then if you miss, it's okay, bro. At least you can go to bed, and sleep good at night. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that's. I think like where I came from and how I grew up, it's I think I've been very successful always shooting my shot, and just like nah, like if it's even when calls come, I'm like nah, fuck that, bro. And I got a family, I got a little girl, so I'm like nah, like I'm not doing that, dude. Like it's not an arrogant thing of, you know who I am. It's, I just know my value, bro.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not afraid to shoot my shot. I deserve to always be on big cards.
Yeah.
My name value fucking presents that. I always promote my ass off, you
Yeah.
know? So, like, it's just, yeah, dude, like, it will come along for everybody.
Yeah. So, obviously nowadays, the current day and time that we're in, jujitsu's really, really growing to that next level, I think.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I say we're still in the early days. We're still like Ultimate Fighter season 1 or somewhere in there. But it's
All
definitely
right.
definitely catching some steam. And one of the things I like about it is it's a good transition for MMA fighters, right? If
Yeah.
you don't want to continue the MMA route, you can get into a jiu-jitsu or grappling career nowadays and actually make some pretty good money, especially with things like Craig Jones, right?
Yeah, yeah. That's exactly what I did, bro. Like, I literally was, I had an ACL tear and I was on a roll, bro. I think I was like I'm on a 4 fight winning streak with all finishes,
Yeah.
right? So I'm rolling and then it tore my ACL, had it back. I thought it'd be easy to come back by doing a jiu-jitsu tournament instead of me just fighting MMA,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so I get a phone call for high rollers. Hey, Ian, you want to fight Andy Varela for a title?
That's
And
a
I'm like, all right, that's a good little
yeah, that's a good
comeback,
match.
right?
Yeah.
So went out there, scrapped, bro. Ended up losing. I believe Eddie Bravo and UFC saw it. They invited me to Combat Worlds. Fucking did my thing, co-main event. Lost in double overtime over there, and they're like, "Oh shit!" Eddie's like, "Bro," and then we took it to my hotel room that night, and he's just like, "Bro, you can be something if you like, bro. Just go full time."
Yeah.
And that's when I knew I was gonna make the switch, you know. And plus, I didn't want to get hit in the head anymore. I like a
Right.
daughter, like and then I own a wrestling school, bro. A lot of jiu-jitsu kids come over to try to learn how to wrestle too, as well,
Right.
right? Or a lot of them might start transitioning over to wrestling because they're going to high school, right?
Right.
And they want to do a grappling combat sport, so they start coming over me because I know how to blend both styles together,
Yeah.
you know. And
Yeah.
then, yeah, bro. And then I really just got blessed because I was Bellator's top prospect, bro. I knew how to talk and I had a lot of swagger, and jiu-jitsu never had that at all, you know? And when I came in, I kind of shook the needle up of being like the Odell Beckham in jiu-jitsu now, you know?
Right.
Like this guy was an MMA superstar. He knows how to wrestle, he knows how to grapple. Like, bro, he just scraps with anybody, doesn't care because I came from an MMA background
Yeah.
and giving people fix, man. And I'm putting on the show and then literally been all over the world and now on another Who's Number One card, bro. So like I'm killing it, bro. So like yeah, man, and I still got a good couple more years at it. So yeah.
Oh yeah. With grappling, like I said, it's definitely growing to what it is, but you hit it on the head. They need personalities to really
Yeah.
make it grow to that next level. And without the personalities, the people that don't understand the grappling aren't going to be really into it.
Nah.
To get the average person off the couch who's not an MMA guy or not a jiu-jitsu guy to be into it, they need the drama, the Real Housewife type drama. You know what I'm saying? That reality show shit.
Well, they say, do you believe that a lot of jiu-jitsu guys are mostly like artistic and nonverbal and fucking
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of them out there, man. There's a lot of them out there. Some of the best ones out there.
There is no fucking fight in that whatsoever, bro.
Yeah, very unique characters in jiu-jitsu for sure. But yeah, we need some talented people that know how to talk on a microphone, know how to
Yeah.
call people out and, shoot their shot like we were saying.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. I am, bro. Growing up, bro. Some of my favorite fighters. Well, first, I mean, I'm black, so it was Rampage and
Yeah.
like Rashad and stuff like that, right? So
Rampage
coming out,
Rampage killing it, dude, with the Jackson
bro.
podcast.
Yeah, exactly, bro. That's my guy. And me and him got to fight on the Bellator card together, so that was special for me. Like I fought on some historic cards with Fedor, Tito, Stephan Bonner,
Yeah.
so it was good. But bro, old school like Carlos Condit, Dan Hardy, like the fucking gunslingers,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Fucking, you didn't care if they won or lost, like you
Right.
know, and like bro, like I I'm the guy in jiu-jitsu. Live by the sword, die by the sword. Like, I will go out swinging. I will go into fucking foot fights. I will fucking just jump for shit just to jump,
Yeah.
right? I do not give a fuck about results. I'm just trying to go scrap and put on a fucking show. And I'm your favorite fucking scrapper. Like, that's
Right.
just it. Don't
Right.
care about fucking weight classes. Don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
I'll show up, you know? So, just you need that shit.
And from a promotional standpoint, it's going to give you more opportunities, right? You're more willing to take matches. You're willing to take them in multiple weight classes, so you're more marketable as a competitor. You know, from a promotional standpoint, you know, regardless which promotion it is, there's more options for you.
Yep. 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 1,000%, bro. Like that's what it is too, dude. And too, I'm on a stage which is cool that like I kind of jumped the line in superstardom of just because I had a name, I had a background when I came over, but I'm also the coolest part that's keeping me going is like I'm really enjoying this and I'm fucking having fun because, bro, I'm gonna tell you a secret that a lot of you don't know. MMA is not fun, you guys. It's not, bro.
Yeah.
It's fucking not, bro. It's fucking not, bro. It's not, dude. Don't get me wrong. I had some fights when I came out. I was like, no, we're just having fun out there, right?
Yeah.
Real talk. That shit was fun after I got my hand raised, all
Yeah.
right? Like, bro, because like, I, it was like one of my last Bellator fights, dude. Just for that one, he told me some real shit. Because everybody in the locker room is always just like, when you go out, they're like, all right, have fun out there, right?
Yeah.
I remember like they did that. I was walking. I remember my coach was just like, "Yo, this shit ain't fucking fun, bro.
Oh,
He's
it's
trying to take food
war.
off your family plate. Like this is some real ass
Yeah.
shit,
They're
right?"
trying to take your fucking head off.
Yeah, bro. Grappling's a little bit more fun, bro. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? I can scrap and scrap. No, I'm not gonna like I can go unconscious if I don't tap, but I still have a choice. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like it's a little bit more fun. Like I love competing on the biggest stage. Like it's a joy. And plus when I went to London with Polaris, I got to take my family, bro,
Right.
and do moments like that, you know. So
Yeah.
that's cool, bro.
Yeah, you know, like you know, Nate Diaz says it all the time. It's war out there. You know, MMA shouldn't be fun. You know, you guys are actually literally going to war like
Trying to
gladiators.
make trying to take somebody's shit off, bro.
Right,
Like real
right.
talk. Man,
Shut
yeah.
out the lights. You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, you know, while I have you, I know your time's limited, so I want to get into your upcoming Who's Number One match. How's training been going for it? What's your training regimen been like with the jiu-jitsu?
Yeah, it's been really, really good. I have a lot of private coaches. Obviously, like man, it was hard for me to go down to 10 Planet HQ because of the fires down in
Oh
SoCal.
yeah,
But it's good, bro, because I have a lot of fighters under me at my own gym at Silverback. So like, bro, like my coach is dope as fuck. Give me a game plan, work on it. I'm a core discipline athlete from the very beginning, you know?
yeah,
And I have a lot of bodies to roll with. I go over to VG. There's so many black belts from AOJ. I have such a good mixture of stuff.
yeah,
And then conditioning rise, you already know. I'm a wrestler, bro. I'll kill myself. So,
yeah.
like, yeah, dude, that's how I show up in scrap. But it's been good, bro. It's been really, really good. Uh, it's been cool. I have a lot of black belts coming over to me and stuff like that. So it's good, man. I probably grew more now at this age in jiu-jitsu than I did before because MMA jiu-jitsu is a lot different, bro.
Yeah.
Sweep, get up, you know what I'm saying, and stuff like that. It was a different language when I first came back, especially like the leg lock game and stuff like that.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
you know, so yeah, man. But I feel like I'm finally getting it,
Yeah.
which is really dangerous for everybody else.
Yeah.
So like it's like the X play, stuff like that, like diving under, like it's been really a joy like learning all of it right now.
Right. And then I mean obviously with your wrestling background, you're not afraid to wrestle and scrap with somebody, you know? So
Yeah. I think I'm just and what I'm getting better at is learning how to scrap was just like when I was in wrestling, like I just love just teching people and putting it on people.
yeah.
But it's the first who's number one card, like it's I've been in the IBJJF rankings for a long time, always in the top 10 in my weight class, and
Yeah.
it was always just, you know, pass, get points, like pressure, you know. But when I started going over to the super fights, it's just like, nah, bro, like you better fire the fire. Like you don't if you were trying to hold on to a win,
Yeah.
like you will not get invited back. Like
Yeah.
real talk. And that's what
Right.
Who's Number One said in the crowd. And I'm just like looking around like, fuck, bro. I gotta fucking like if I see an ankle, I'm just gonna dive on it. Right?
Yeah.
It's just the show aspect.
Right.
That took a while to kind of grasp a little bit, right?
Right.
And then I just remember just like my fights of just like, man, just push forward, just let it fly,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
And just go, you know? So I think that aspect is coming around. So I think this Who's Number One is going to be dope, bro.
Yeah. And then, one of the things I like about Who's Number One is they do the open scoring, halfway between the match or every so often they're announcing who the judges are favoring, right? And that's a pretty cool concept as a competitor, right? Because, you're not
learn how to pick it up.
Right. I can turn up the pace now, right? Or you're winning, right? And now you can just really start to tech them, start to put on the pressure. So what's your opinion on like your favorite organization to compete in with when it comes to grappling?
Man,
or rule set, I guess.
Been,
I guess rule set too with EBI, they do things a little bit different as well, right?
I know, bro. Fuck, I know. It's a mixture, bro. I did like Combat Worlds. That was fucking cool. But the EBI overtime, and Eddie's my guy, dude. And I'm a Tempe guy, but like I get like being around a lot of vets, like listening to some of their opinions and then just going back and just thinking about it because I competed in them.
Right.
I'm like, well, fuck. Like, if you couldn't really take my back in the beginning, like, how fair is it for me to start in that position? You know what I'm saying? Like, it sucks, right?
Yeah.
And then they're like, well, fuck. And then you get submitted, but you couldn't fucking get to that position the whole 10 minutes. You know? Like, I get that aspect, but also, like, for somebody that does know the rule set, that does know how to play it, can be really dangerous, though, too.
Yeah.
Learning how to play that. I start getting better at that when I start going to HQ because they always do overtime rounds.
Yeah.
Who's Number One? I do like 10 minutes, open scoring, boom, 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 boom.
Right.
But coming over from MMA, the best one is the CGI.
Yeah.
Because the 5 minutes, you can adjust, you can go back.
Yeah.
And that's kind of used to going into rounds.
Yeah.
And I kind of been so stuck on doing that my whole life in the first place.
Right.
That I think that's probably the way to go. And you still have open scoring.
Right.
Yeah. So you can make adjustments to be like, hey, your coach can get on your ass. Like, you got to fucking go.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think that's probably the best one that I like.
A lot of people, Craig Jones is changing the game with that. And it sounds like he's going to be doing a CJI number 2. What's your opinion? Nowadays, we're seeing a lot of these ramps or pits or whatever you want to call them, but the slanted walls popping up in organizations and people nowadays, at least around here, are trying to mimic Craig Jones's. But what's your opinion on that when it comes to grappling? Do you prefer it?
I do like it because like I grew up fucking cage wrestling my whole life, bro. I still got a cage inside of my gym now. So that's like, it's, bro. And then like I have so many different chains and stuff like that off of that.
Yeah.
I do like it because I do think the stage is dangerous because people get away with running people off or even running out of bounds when they're caught in submissions. Right. So I honestly think that it's great, but I did think pit submission was the first. And I think Craig was like, all right, this is pretty cool.
Yeah. Karate Combat's been doing it for a quick minute, too.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. I'm about to hop on with them this year.
Oh, wow. That's exciting, man.
Yeah. I was going to do one short notice against Achilles Rocha, but it was like 2 weeks notice, and they used somebody local instead. But yeah, bro, I'm hopping on pit submission this year for sure.
Yeah, you brought up Rocha. News just dropped a little bit ago that Wagner has heart failure and has been in the hospital for like 5 days. But it's incredible because, I mean, he's a silver medalist in ADCC?
Heart failure?
Heart failure is what they're saying. I seen all kinds of news right before I got to the studio here. So yeah, Wagner, he's been in the hospital for quite some time. Are you fucking kidding me? Dead serious, brother. Just dropped today. It's all over the internet.
How old is Wagner? Like 43?
42, I believe, 43, somewhere in there. So
do you have any suspicions of why he's having heart failure?
I do. I don't know if I'm going to drop those suspicions yet, just because it's still pretty fresh news. But I mean, it's definitely something like. I mean, obviously he looked good in ADCC. He didn't look like a 42-year-old man.
No, he did not.
He was murking the game. So yeah, it's just kind of
dude. I fuck, bro. Well, first of all, like I'm a huge fan of Wagner Rocha. I hope he fucking pulls through, dude.
Yeah.
Like because he's also a good father too, as well.
Right.
You know,
Seeing him with his kids
so
is incredible, dude.
dude, and he definitely. You talk about somebody that changed their image and changed everything, and
Yeah.
like he was a bad guy. Now people but love him. Like
Yeah.
I like him. I love him. Like I hope he pulls through, dude.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm definitely rooting for him, man. And it's crazy, but sometimes it's you can't run from those things. They just kind of hit you in the face. So unexpectedly. But yeah, I'm wishing him all the best. I'm wishing his family the best. Obviously that's tough, and who knows if we'll be able to see another run at ADCC like that, or even a big
Hell
time
no.
show. With those kind of conditions.
No, he had a good career, bro. A historic
Yeah.
career, I think. Like I think like people like that, like he could have called it quits at any time. He's just like, I'm enjoying this, right? I can make history with my kids.
Yeah.
Mine's why he's not like why I mean, keep going if you can, if you're able, you know?
Right.
How old is Cyborg Abreu?
I'm sorry.
How old is Cyborg?
He's probably about the same age. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely over 40, I'm sure.
Yep.
So, yeah, those guys, they looked great in ADCC, man. I mean, it's hard to deny those guys, those OG guys that were just grinding it out this past ADCC, man.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro.
A lot of talent. Even though CJI did still a lot of talent, there was still plenty of talent in ADCC to
No,
put
there
on a good
was.
show.
I mean, like J Rod was there.
Yeah.
Achilles Rocha was there. I mean, that kid with Mika.
Yeah, Galval, yeah.
Galval, like he's a fucking monster, bro.
Yeah.
Diego Pata was there, so you had your studs.
Yeah.
So shout out to that one. Like it's both of those shows were great, dude. I went to both.
Yeah.
So like it's they were both great.
Yeah. I mean, that's the way to do it. I was saying on the podcast right before those shows hit, I was like, if you could figure out a way to do both of them, like I thought Gordon was going to figure it out at some point to where he'd be able to do both competitions. Cause I think it's a cool thing to have your enemies give you $1 million. I think,
Fuck yeah.
I think that's the biggest.
But he
middle
don't think
finger.
that way. He doesn't think that way. He doesn't think that way. He doesn't think that way.
Yeah.
Right? I would have been like, yeah, have these fuckers pay me $1 million.
Yeah.
But he just thinks like, why should I bless you with my presence? And
Yeah.
that's exactly how he thinks, bro. So
yeah, different mentality, man. He's always hanging around the top guys in the MMA scene and stuff like that. I'm glad he's working with John Jones now, though. I think that's gonna make John even better.
I mean, like I like him, but like he's weird in some way, but like I do like him a lot. And then he's like openly now about like his cycles.
Yeah.
His steroids. Like I seen one. He goes, I took off my shirt. He goes, sorry, it's like my out of competition bod, but once I get a cycle, it goes straight to my shoulders. And I'm like, what the fuck, bro?
Yeah. Openly talking about it, yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy. Dude. But do you have an opponent for this Who's Number One match? Can you announce that on the show?
Yeah, but I forgot how to say his name.
It's all good.
Hold on.
if you've listened to enough shows of Grapplers Talk, I'm the worst at pronouncing people's names. I've butchered more names.
I'm gonna text it to you.
Yeah.
Fuck, bro. He's Brazilian, okay?
Yeah. I'm definitely gonna butcher this one. Oh man. But yeah, dude.
Right.
Okay, here we go. Silverio.
Yeah.
That's exciting, man. Do you know much about your competitor, or are you just going in and gonna do your thing?
Just going in and do my thing. At the end of the day, it's always that,
Yeah.
So, yeah, I know he's talented. He wouldn't be talented if he wasn't on Who's Number One.
Right.
I believe he's like a couple-time world champ, maybe. But I mean, in jiu-jitsu nowadays at the high level, it's like who hasn't reached that pinnacle at that point? You know?
It's expected at that high level.
It's expected at that point. So, like, yeah, man, just gonna go out there, scrap, do my thing, put on a show. I'm gonna try to fucking possibly try to catch a body, or I might get caught. Live by the sword, die by the sword.
Yeah.
So.
Man, it's been nothing but an honor having you on this show, man. And I always like to give our guests just a few minutes to shout out whoever you'd like to. Just kind of give love to all your homies or whatever. But the floor is yours. Shout out whoever you'd like.
Yeah, thank you. All right, shout out to my club, Silverback Wrestling Club. We're like one of the best ones in the nation. So if you're ever in Southern LA or like in Anaheim, actually Minnesota and Oregon, go to one for sure. My sponsor at E-Ride Pro, Jocko Fuel. Everybody wants to know how I got sponsored by that. Jocko used to be one of my coaches. So
Okay.
so back in the day, right?
Everyone loves Jocko.
So, yeah, everybody knows Jocko. Violent Gentleman. Yeah, man, Dave and Buster's. But pretty much that's it, bro.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, just thank you guys. If you guys want to follow my journey at all, Ian Butler MMA on Insta was the best one to get me. Slide in my DMs and I'll answer it for sure.
Yeah, and check him out on Who's Number One, February 7th, right?
That's right.
February 7th. Don't miss it, man. I know Ian's going to put on a great show, man, and it's just been a great time having you on. We're definitely going to have to do this again, man.
I'm down for sure. I'm down.
Yeah. But you're listening to Grapplers Talk. Everyone, thank you for downloading the podcast. New episodes drop every Friday on Spotify, YouTube, all of your social media platforms. Thank you, Ian, for being a part of this. And this is Grapplers Talk. We are out.
This is Grapplers Talk.